Hey, what is happening? And good morning, everybody. This is David Pendleton, and we're going to be talking about the Eastern Classics tournament. This is going to be the rookie division for the opening round. Really excited to show my walkthrough with y'all. I've got a few different holes in which I can show you, a few different alternate paths depending on your club level and the confidence in your ability to hit perfect. But all in all, a very solid front nine, and that's really all you need to go out here and dominate your game. So if you're not a subscriber, please become one. That would be awesome. And secondly, take just a millisecond there to hit that thumbs up button and like the video if you find this helpful. All right. Hole number one is going to be played 10% at max. Now, I'm going to show you two different ways to play this one. You're going to see this as an extra mile 7, okay? And only a Titan ball. This can be done. It can be made. Now, obviously, you're going to have to go with quite a bit of overpower if you're going to use a P3 ball in dead headwind. Now, if you're somebody who has money balls or if you're somebody who has the free-to-play Berserker, you should be saving all of your Berserkers for tournament play. Obviously, if you were to use a Berserker, this shot would be a lot easier. But I wanted to show people that an extra mile 6, extra mile 7 with a Titan ball can make it on hole number one, even on direct headwind. Now, that's going to take me into this shot here. Like I said, if you want to use a Berserker, it's going to make it a lot easier for you. I'm using my 6 bars of topspin combined with 2 bars of side spin to the right. Now, you're going to see because of the extra mile 8, or more importantly, because of the Berserker, the power 5 ball, I do not have to use any overpower to execute this shot and get us into an easy putting distance. So you see here we do rip off a perfect ball. And we get ourselves down onto the green for a very easy putt in for eagle. All right, that's hole number one. Hole number two, going to be very simple as well. Remember, we're going to be using our big topper. Okay, if you're somebody who has an extra mile like level 9 that has awesome topspin, you can use that as well. But for me here, I'm going to use a big topper. It doesn't matter what big topper level you have, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I think people get caught up in looking at the club level and they're like, oh man, you have a big topper 5? Well, that's going to be really hard to follow. Like, no, it's not. It's not going to matter. All we're looking for is the top spin. That's it, okay? We're looking for the top spin, and we're looking to hit perfect. The ball guideline, the curl, the accuracy, all the other stuff that comes along with leveling up your big topper, we're not using on this hole. We're not using any curl. We don't care about anything except getting that ball as far up the fairway as possible and not using overpower. That way we can try to hit a perfect shot. So again, my big topper 5 is not going to be different than your big topper 2, okay? Hit perfect and use the top spin and you're good to go. Same thing with this next club, the Horizon. Again, it doesn't matter what level your Horizon is. We are looking to utilize the top spin advantage of the Horizon. Here you can see I'm not even going full top spin. I still have a few bars to spare. But all we're looking to do is leave room around every side of the rough for a great ball and leave room at the top of the rough. So let me show you what I mean by that. You're going to see here that when I go to line up my shot, see how I've got about 2 rings of wiggle room from the center of my target to the rough. All right, this will be easier. So you're going to see here, I'm leaving myself plenty of room for a great right, plenty of room for a great left, and plenty of room for my ball to travel right here. So that's how you should really be lining up your shots, because we don't want to play with our middle of our target like way over here, right? Okay, so some people might move their target over here to make your ball guideline more down the fairway. But what happens if you accidentally hit a great right ball and then you get stuck right here? You don't want to do that. What we want to do is line up where I'm lining up, because that makes this shot great proof. We can hit a great ball and still be okay. And all we're going to do now is utilize curl. That's about 3/4 of a ball curl to the right-hand side. Now you see here we catch the fairway. That curl really helps us get back towards the pin. And it's not like we're looking to pick up an albatross on this hole anyways. We're just playing this one for the eagle. And if somehow we roll into the cup, we'll take it as a major win. But that's a very easy way to get eagle, and we are seeing opponents sort of mess this hole up. All right, takes us on to hole number 3. Hole number 3, I do want you to play with your Goliath, okay? The reason that I want you to play with the Goliath is it's a more powerful club than the backbone, and we do need the power of the Goliath to set this shot up, and we're not really worried about accuracy. We are going to play this one at 10%. As you can see here, I'm using about 2.5 bars of backspin. So regardless of your Goliath, you're going to be able to have 2.5 bars of backspin. The thing that's going to be different if you have a lower level Goliath is you're not going to have the same ball guideline as me. But that's going to be okay. You're just going to kind of take a look at where I'm aiming and try to replicate that. Now, I want you to notice here that after I aim at dead center of pin, this is a little trick on this hole because this one plays a little weird. So 2.5 back from me, and then after I find my landing spot, I add half a bar of right curl. So you see that? Now look how weird my ball guideline is. That's okay. Let's watch the shot play out and see what happens. To me, I think this is going to be the best way to try to pick up a hole-in-one, although this is a very difficult and tricky course, or hole, I should say, to pick up a hole-in-one on. But you're going to see here, we do get ourselves very close. What happened was I just added a little bit too much right side spin. So we want to reduce the right side spin in half. Instead of using half a bar, I would like you to maybe use 0.2 or 0.3 bars. I would like you to try this in practice mode if you have the tokens available, because we're only using a navigator ball. Navigator balls show up like crazy in chest, and they're very cheap to buy with gyms as well. As long as you have good gym management, you should be able to pull that off. But I do believe if you take that setup to practice mode and you really tinker with that, adding the side spin after you find your landing spot, you might be able to dial this one in for a hole-in-one, and not many opponents will be getting it. It'll be a huge, huge win for you. Takes us on to hole number 4. Hole number 4, we're going to be using just a navigator ball again. And we're going to be going with full topspin. So as much topspin as you want, or as you can. And then combined with 1 bar of right side spin. Here we're also going to be utilizing curl. That's about half a ball of curl to the right. And of course, we're looking to execute a perfect drive. We're able to go from the fairway up to the next fairway and get ourselves a really good roll here. This is going to leave us in for a Thorn Shot, okay? Now, the Thorn Shot that we're going to be playing is going to be played 0% at mid-distance of our club. As you can see here, I'm checking the distance. I'm just going to play it true club at mid. I am using the fringe as my landing spot. So you can see there, I've got my ball guideline on the fringe. I think that's the best way to get a consistent bounce on any hole that you can. Unless the hole is closer to the green or fringe, then we would play it right at the hole. But when I'm bouncing, I always try to use the fringe first if that shot's there. As you can see here, we sneak it onto the right-hand side of the cup, picking us up a nice little eagle on hole number 4. All right, that's going to bring us into hole number 5. Hole number 5 now, this is going to be a little bit of a tricky one for some of us, okay? And the reason that I say that is because we're using a rough bump, and we're using my least favorite ball in the game. Here we're going to go with the Quasar because we need the side spin to catch the funnel. Again, this would be a great one for you to take the practice mode and dial in, because not a lot of opponents will be picking up a hole-in-one on this hole, and you are going to see how close we are to getting this thing to drop. Okay, right here is about 4.2 bars of topspin combined with 2 bars of side spin to the right. There is a major funnel on this hole when we go for the rough bump. We don't need the ball guideline pointing to the pin. This is what we need the ball guideline pointing to. Notice I am aiming above the pin on that dark green square. The end of my ball guideline is almost touching the corner, like the right-hand corner of that dark green square above the pin. Now we'll watch the shot play out. That's about as close as you can get without making the shot. That one's a little tough, but that shot is absolutely there. And I do think, again, if you can take that in the practice mode, you might find exactly where to aim to get that ball to drop. Okay, hole number 6, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to approach this hole. You can use your extra mile. You can use a rock as well. A rock would be a really good club for accuracy and ball guideline on this hole. But I know most people use an extra mile, and I don't like to change the clubs around too much on rookie. You got to be wary here when you go to pull your rings. You have to push it, because if you flip the camera the other way, it gets a little harder to pull your rings on this wind angle on this hole. But here you're going to see the top spin and the side spin and the curl was all really good. We leave ourselves with just enough room between the fairway and the rough. Now, shot number 2, I want you to play it with your guardian, or I want you to play it with your big dog. And the reason I want you to do that is we just want this backspin, okay? We're not looking to pick up an albatross on this hole. If we get it to drop, that would be a huge, huge bonus. But what we are looking to do is just pick up a very safe eagle. And again, on this par 5, we might see an opponent or 2 in our brackets pick up a birdie on this hole, and we need to take advantage of that. All right, we'll land a little pin high, but ultimately, that ends up being a really nice shot. Now, if you're somebody who wants to make this hole even easier, everybody knows I don't like playing the right-hand side. If I didn't use YouTube for instructional videos, I would have never played that shot. But for everybody who wants to see multiple angles, I try to do that. This is the only way I would ever play this hole. Take a berserker, use that little middle island fairway there, use a little bit of right curl, and as long as you execute this drive, you are onto the green easily in 2 shots. So, we pick up right there onto the fairway. Now, I use my Goliath again because the Goliath has the power. You could definitely use a backbone on this hole. As long as you execute this drive, you're going to have plenty of juice to get to the green. But as you can see here, I'm going with a max backspin on my Goliath. That's how easy this angle is. Half a ball of curl to the left. Hit a great ball to the left, so that's not going to do us any good. But the nice part is here, like I said, we just pick up the eagle, okay, and we call it a day. Hole number 7. Hole number 7, this is probably the easiest one to pick up a hole-in-one on. I don't think any of them are easy, but I think this is our best chance. 4.5 bars of backspin combined with 1 bar of side spin to the left. We will take a look at the landing position here. The thing that I'm focusing on is the end of my ball guideline. I would say that the end of my ball guideline is pointing in that light green square, but almost inside the dark green square. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If this is your first time following me, I try to get really detailed because the details is what's going to help people win tournaments. So if we were to take a look here, this is where I'm focusing on, that light green and dark green patch right there. All right, so we make our ring pull. Nothing like falling shortly into the hole and then bouncing right out. All we need to do is move that over just a fraction to the left-hand side, and I think we're going to be looking pretty good to dial that one again in for a hole-in-one. Okay? Takes on to hole number 8. Hole number 8, I want you to play shot number 1, 1-for-1 with your quarterback. So 3.5 mile per hour wind means we're going to pull this 3.5 rings. Now, I will tell you, I'll tell you this after the shot so we don't talk too much and confuse people. Okay, if you have an extra mile 8 and you want to try to execute the same shot where we try to drive down towards the green, if you have the Bubba ball, which remember was given away for free in the game via Golden Shots, if you're hanging on to Bubba balls and you have an extra mile 8 or an extra mile 9 or an APOC 4 or 5 or better, you can make it down there towards the green. The reason that I know that is because an opponent of mine used an APOC 4 and a Bubba ball, and he was able to blast the ball down there towards the green on the fairway, even in direct headwind. I'm not going to play that shot, even though I really, really wanted to, but to try to help people dial in the eagle from up top, I decided to take 2 shots with it. Shot number 2, we're going to play 10% at mid, and what we're going to do here is use 1 bar of right side spin, which is max with the navigator. Here I'm using 1 bar of top spin. I want you to notice my ball guideline is through the pin pretty well, and I'm aiming on the right-hand side of the ball, of the cup, I should say. That's why I zoomed in so you can see that right there. So notice that my entire right ball guideline is on the right-hand side of the cup. This is basically 1 top, 1 right. We need to add a smidge more of top spin on this shot. You're going to see here that even though we dropped hole number 1 and we dropped hole number 4, we are leaving a lot of shots extremely close to pin. All we need here is just about 0.1, 0.2 more bars of top spin, and we would have been good to knock that one in for an eagle as well. Takes on to the final hole. Like I said, if you're not a subscriber, please become one. Please hit that thumbs up button there for just a moment. 10% elevation at max distance of our club. We're using a Titan ball. And again, this is another situation where you got to push your rings instead of pull. And I would really like you to go pretty heavy on the left-hand curl. You're going to see here that I hit a very nasty great right. I'm very happy that the great shot was no big deal. That's why we need to use that left curl. But even with a very bad great shot to the right, I still have a decent amount of room from the fairway to the rough, which I was very happy with. I'm playing shot number 2, 25% elevation, okay? Now, some of you may not get as high on the drive as I did, but you can see here my opponent outdrove me by a significant margin. So we were both playing with our long iron. I played this one 25% elevation with the long iron. I want to go ahead and play like 20% maybe with your sniper and just try. But this one is a tough hole to pick up an albatross on. You know, we think about this tournament, the par 4s are very easy, all very good eagle opportunities. We take a look at the par 3s, all very difficult to dial in for a hole-in-one. And the same thing with the par 5s. The albatrosses are going to be extremely rare. I love when tournaments are like this. You know, I don't know about you. But here, you know, another great ball. But the speed is good. Perfect shot would have been closer to pin. I don't know if it would have been in or not. But the speed ultimately was good. Best of luck, everybody. Let me know how you do in the comments. And I'm going to start working on the back nine.